Every parent at some point has a conversation with their child that goes something like this. Why did you do that? And the child says, because my friend did. And the parent says, well, if your friend jumped off a bridge, would you also jump off a bridge? I think from a very young age, humans learn to emulate the things they observe. Just the way we're wired, we learn by observing. To put it in a very crude way, monkey see, monkey do. But hopefully we learn to discern the good behaviors to copy from the bad ones. Hopefully we learn who are the right people to try emulate and who to avoid copying. Do you remember those WWJD bracelets? They were all the rage for a while when I was at school. And the idea behind them was simple. They were to remind you to try emulate Jesus. Seeing it would remind you to ask yourself, what would Jesus do in every situation? You see, out of all the people we could try to emulate or copy, Jesus is as good as it gets. In fact, emulating Jesus is truly the goal of our Christian lives. Some people think the ultimate goal of becoming a Christian is getting to heaven. But there's so much more to it than that. God's desire for us is transformation. Transformation into the likeness of Jesus. And there's perhaps no other word to capture the essence of Jesus than the word love. The Bible said God is love. And that means Jesus is love. In fact, I'm sure you've heard the old story of the 4 businessmen rushing through the airport to catch their plane when one of them inadvertently kicked an apple cart over, and apples flew everywhere. But in their hurry, the men just carried on running to make sure they didn't miss their plane. But one of them glanced back and saw that the owner of the apple cart was a blind girl, and she was floundering trying to gather the apples up, so he stopped. He turned around and he came back to help her, and she was crying softly as she groped about for her apples. The man knelt next to her and helped her gather up the apples and put them on the table and reorganize her display. And finally, he opened up his wallet and gave the girl some money to pay for damages. And as he turned to walk away, the girl called out after him, "Mister, are you Jesus?" You see, because Jesus loved, we should love. Or to put it in biblical language, listen to 1 John 2 verses 5 and 6. This is how we know we are in him. Whoever claims to live in him must live as Jesus did. Today, friends, love like Jesus. And maybe somebody's going to see the way you love and ask, are you Jesus?